Don't like the source it was pulling from there. Let's make sure that's correct. Check, check, 1, 2. Okay. It seems to be fine. We're going to find out, though. Don't mind the man behind the mirror. Frictional games. Yeah, that's not worked at all. All right, so let me do my self promotion out. Because I'm a scrub like that. There we are. One more to do. Boop. I think that'll do it. Let me push this over to the side. We will continue on. Hopefully this works. Let me just double check my audio, make sure we're not reverberating. Check, check. All right, seems good. All right. And if there's problems, I guess we'll figure that out later. Nothing to do now but continue. Also, the stream may be a little bit cleaner today, but we'll see. It does take a while to load, but that's okay. I'm okay with this. Just gotta make sure that we're paying attention because it does love to say push a button. I'm just like, oh, let's let it sit there for a minute. Using the Omega Space Gun. Now, The problem is, I don't know how long this section is going to be. It could be 15 minutes, or it could be 5 hours. But we'll see. But I am going to finish the game today. I know we're somewhere near the last section. It's just a matter of how long it takes. And honestly, it could just be like half an hour, do this, do this, do this, and you're done. But going on the map I saw, it seemed like there was going to be more door locks and puzzles, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're all open. Maybe I don't have to worry about it.
Hey, it just happens to have happened 100 years ago.
Sounds like a riddle.
It does. I woke up in my bed today, 100 years ago. Who am I? Who am I?
I'm a little beaten up. But that's okay. That's where I came from, right?
It's crazy to think where I am. Not only is this the future, it's in the middle of the sea. I know nothing of this time or what the world looks like.
Not much to brag about now. Before the comet, I guess it was okay.
Yeah, better not oversell it. Might change my mind about the ARK.
You seriously not gonna tell me what happened to your arm?
I had to make a quick stop at Site Alpha to help kill the WoW.
What? How? Why?
Stop it from torturing the memory of humanity.
Okay, let's just get back to work.
Well,
What will you do when you get into the ARK? What's the first thing?
Make sure the ARK is safe, stabilize flight path, activate solar panels.
What's the first human thing you're gonna do?
Oh. Watch the clouds roll by? Does that count?
I'd say so.
I'm going to use this. I'm not sure it's going to do any good, but it may help me with my limp. What on earth? Hoovy! Oh my god, man. Welcome to the stream. Why did I not get the alert? Hang on. Yeah, it just didn't show. Huh. Weird. Let me reset my chat, because maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. Maybe you were chatting with me before. There we go. Pain. I see you. Hey, Hoovy. Pain without love. Pain. Can't get enough. Pain. This is a button. It doesn't do anything. All right. Again, I don't know how long this stream's going to be, but my thought, let me refresh my Streamlabs. There we go. Yeah, now it's showing. What the heck? All right. Is that it'll be long enough that it'll be okay. Okay, there's a battery pack. I guess I need this. Or maybe I just needed that on. I don't know. You should probably get to sleep, Hoovy. I appreciate the follow and everything else, but yeah, probably you should get to sleep. Again, I know, like, of all the people who stream, like, I'm the one at the very tail end of Eastern Standard Time, and that sucks for anybody in the EU or Asia or anything like that. So I'm screwing my demographics, but yes, please have a good night. Good night, Hoovy. Take it easy, my man. I wish I could stream sooner, but at the same time, I don't want to like crash into other people who are streaming, especially since I moderate for those people. So, you know, it's one of those things. I'm okay with it. So I get mine sneakily done in the middle of the night. Or the morning in Hoovy's case. idle, huh? Is this where I came in? I guess it is. But that doesn't make sense. I went left. Well, maybe I have to go down the service area. Alright. Right. We're gonna do some hall wugging. So I'm gonna follow the right side wall. Rations already moved to Tau. Get your ass back there if you're hungry. Kofsky. Alright, now we're gonna go this way. Oh, what a lovely bathroom. I mean, the design needs some work, but you know, it's still functional. I could piss on this. No, I'm kidding. Just alright. Okay, we got a generator? Question mark? There's a rattling and a rolling. Well, it seems good. No idea what it does yet. Alright, again, we're hugging the right-hand side wall. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, that's exactly it. So we're going to go down this way now. Access granted. What is granted? It's the dive room. Why would I need the dive room? I guess I wouldn't, right? I'm very confused. I pulled a battery pack. That's as far as I got. What is... Let's go to the map. Storage. Okay, let's see if we can map our way to storage, right? So storage, if we follow the line... I need to get to the auxiliary control room, and somehow that connects? Or, what is this? So if I turn around, let's take a look here. So if I turn around, so there's that, right? So if I go through there, hook a right into this room, and then another right all the way to the end, that should be something, right? Okay, I was down here before. Okay, so the lines indicate the floor, I think is what that means. So we're going to be using ladders a few times here. And I may have already gotten it before. So we're in here. Then here. We end up over here. But there's no way... Oh! There we go. Alright. Alright. I needed it to get through the door. Got it.
Alright.
Well, that's the
Found
ARK.
Good job, Simon. Now we just need to find the assembly space so we can stuff the ARK into a shell.
How the hell did it get in here? Because there's literally nothing that could have brought this in here. Alright, fine. Can I take the... I guess I can. I don't think I can even put it down if I wanted to. So that doesn't work, right? We knew that. guess we need to power this again, but I've got to go back for the battery pack. But where can I put this down to grab it? Because I can't go up the ladder. There is a guidepost here, so maybe that's part of it. Let's go in. Oop. Ooh.
Are you suggesting we keep it down here? Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose? Eternity among the stars, remember?
The people inside the Ark won't know the difference. We can just keep it down here, and we don't have to risk the Ark being shot through 5,000 meters of broken barrel, and then push through another 100,000 meters of a dust-filled atmosphere.
Will the casing stand all that pressure?
Oh, the odds aren't great.
Catherine, say something.
I don't care what you think. I'm launching it.
No need to be like that. Let's just hang on to it for a while and think about it. We can launch it later.
No, that wasn't the deal. We made it to save them. To launch it. Out there, it's hope. Down here, it's a fucking terrarium waiting to die with the rest of us.
Come on, Catherine. It's not asking much. Let's just think about it before we risk the only hope humanity has to survive this hell.
No, we launch it today. This is my project, my Ark.
It's bigger than that. Don't you get it? It's not for you to decide. We're talking about the fate of mankind.
Get away from the Ark. I'm taking it.
No, you're not.
I'm not gonna let you ruin this.
Stop it!
Guys, calm down.
Get away from me! No!
What the fuck did you do?
It was an accident.
Catherine, talk to me. Catherine.
Oh, God. Catherine,
Did you say something?
it's you. You had an accident.
What do you... Oh. You mean Catherine. Don't worry, it's better this way.
She didn't make it.
I think I found the assembly space.
What do you see?
It's like a huge open shell, a bullet ready to be loaded.
That's great. All prepared for the Ark.
On it.
Alright. Now let's get that battery pack. As long as it doesn't fry my hand, which it might.
How did you die?
You got into a fight with your colleagues. They didn't want to risk launching the Ark, thought it might not make it through the atmosphere.
They killed me?
I'm sure it was an accident. They were just trying to stop you from launching.
What does this do? Or was this where I got it from? I think this is just where I got it from. Okay. That makes sense.
How could they kill me?
Catherine,
I know I'm not an easy person to like. I just thought they trusted me.
come on. Don't do this to yourself.
And yet she was okay killing me, you know, my copies, and that was fine. But, you know, this one, oh my god, they killed me!
Did you have friends in Toronto, Simon? Real friends?
There
Yes.
was some. Jesse, Sean, Kevin.
I always wanted a friend. Like a real one. Someone you'd never hold back with.
I'll be your friend.
Oh, pity friendship? Now I feel even worse.
Do you think the Ark will make it through the atmosphere and into space?
It almost doesn't matter anymore. We just need to try.
Is that it?
I'm really not that familiar with guns of any size. Oh, here we go. All systems say go.
Lock and load.
Combat up and we'll head out to the gun.
Oh my god, is this really going to be like a 15-minute thing today? I think I was a lot closer than I anticipated last time. Oh boy, we actually... We have it loaded and ready to go. I may have to come up with a backup plan. Jesus Christ. I wonder if I take the battery if it'll still go. The answer's probably not, but, you know. Yeah, I've been going for 20 minutes. I think I called it. I think it's like, it's going to be a 30-minute stream, isn't it? Fuck. Don't worry, I won't stop at 30 minutes. What I'll do is I'll pick something else to stream afterwards. I'll probably get on the Xbox and do like some Dark Souls invasions or something, at least to pass the time.
Now what?
Now we just need to get the shell into the gun and then, kaboom.
Aren't you forgetting something? How are you gonna get us on board the ARK? Don't we need to make another scan?
Oh, don't you worry. You don't operate something like the Omega space gun with your bare hands.
You mean it's a pilot seat? Like back at Omicron?
Yes, and we can use it to transfer you to the ARK while operating the gun. 2 birds and all that. Now, take the Omnitool and plug it in next to the seat and I'll guide you through the final steps.
This feels like it might be wrong to be going this direction, but we'll see. Why would I have to go back outside for the gun for a pilot seat? Danger restricted area. That's not the pilot seat, is it? Oh, I guess it is. All right, let's figure out what's going on over here first. Well, it's just a nice little standing platform. Hang on one moment. Just think of it as a moment to stop. Oh, okay. Leaf is doing a shout out. I was like, what? But that's fine. No, it's okay.
Oh, I'll never get used to that.
Guess you won't have to. Not after this is over.
Right. Have a seat.
Okay.
Comfortable?
As good as it's gonna get.
Okay, I'll activate the seat. You should be able to use the machines to load the bullet you assembled.
How do you operate this thing?
Don't know, I never tried this one. But pilot seats are notoriously easy to use, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, okay. So it goes by my cursor. I wish they'd done this more. Whoa.
Okay, ready when you are. Just hit the button and we're off.
But we need to transfer our minds to the ARK.
We also need to make sure it launches at all, so I tied them to a single switch. Just push the button and we're off.
Here we go. No turning back.
Thank you, Simon.
Don't mention it.
It's an amazing thing you did. And I want you to know I appreciate it.
And of course, she goes first.
20 seconds.
What's the matter with the upload?
Just give it a second.
Thought you guys would have better bandwidth in the future.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6,
You gotta be kidding me!
5, 4, 3,
Come on, load!
2,
Yes! Fuck yeah, we made it! Woo!
Whew.
I'm still here. I'm still here. Catherine? Catherine?
I'm here.
What the hell happened? What went wrong?
Nothing. They're out there, among the stars. We're here.
No. We were getting on the ARK. I saw it. It finished loading just before it launched.
Yeah, I saw.
Then why are we still here?
Simon, I can't keep telling you how it works. You won't listen. You know why we're here. You were copied onto the ARK. You just didn't carry over. You lost the coin toss. We both did. Just like Simon at Omicron, just like the man who died in Toronto 100 years ago.
No, this is bullshit. We came all this way. We launched the ARK.
I know it sucks, but our copies are up there. Catherine and Simon are both safe on the ARK. Be happy for them.
Are you crazy? We're gonna die down here with those fuckers living at large on a spaceship. They're not us. They're not us.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Simon. I'm proud of what we did. We made sure that something of the hundreds of thousands of years of human history survives, that something lives on.
No. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck you, Catherine. You lied. And I believed in you. I trusted you. You said we're getting on the fucking ARK.
We are on the ARK, you idiot! I didn't lie. I can't be responsible for your goddamn ignorance. You
Fuck! Catherine? Please don't leave me alone. Catherine? Catherine?
And that was Soma. We're going to let the credits roll here, but again, this is... I knew most of the story of Soma. So coming into this game, it wasn't completely blind. The only thing I couldn't remember were the puzzles themselves, but the story is important nonetheless. And it's one of those things where I like the idea of AI, I like the idea of artificial intelligence, and I like the idea of like cyberization from like Ghost in the Shell and that sort of thing. But there are some things to think about before that happens. For example, just like cloning or anything else, there's going to be a time where there's two of you at a single instance. And it's always going to be a question of which one do you keep? Do you keep both? And how does one affect the other? For example, right now I am human me, right? And if in the future I decide to make a copy of my brain or a copy of my person and put it into a machine or something like that, and it has those same memories, those same emotions, those same everything. The body is the only thing that's different. Do I have control as a human being over that creation's life? Or because that creation is a newer version in a, let's say it's a better mechanical or robotic body, does that one have more control over my life? And obviously you don't want just like meat bags lying around, like people dying, you know, like a cut and paste. You want to keep that human body around. But this game really explores that to a degree, especially early on, because it takes you up in tiers. So at the start, we had to get rid of a robot, and then at the end, or in the middle, we sort of had to kill a human that was already either on the brink of dying or dying. And then later, we had a full-fledged human that was just on life support. So we're done with the small credits now. Give it a second. Until we get back to the title screen, we'll discuss back then.
Whoa. Is this... Did it work?
Now, why they decided to keep the chair, I guess it was for immersion's sake, but I'll never know. But anyway, so this one right here, you'll see in a second, if you're not understanding. And this was explained earlier, for sure. But you'll know here in a second where we are. I don't think I missed more of these, so let's read these real quick. Welcome. If you're reading this, you have successfully entered the ARK. So this is the copy that made it into the ARK of that mind scan. So, yes, we are in the ARK. The survey is designated to give developers a better understanding of your subjective experience and how to improve your well-being. Please continue with the survey. Sure. How would you describe your physical condition? I feel normal. How would you describe your mental condition? I feel normal. How would you describe your senses? As expected, normal. How would you describe your sensation of your new condition? I wouldn't say depressing or disconcerting. So, again, I have to think in terms of the game world, because obviously the game had limitations on its graphical capabilities. So, in the sense that this is a game world and that it seems to fit the theme of that world, I'm going to say it's pleasant. Because in my sense, obviously, if I see this and I entered something that was in the ARK in, let's say real life, there was an ARK. If I saw this, I'd be like, oh, well, this is just, video game land or something like that, right? And then I'd be like, all right, this just feels constructed. This feels, something just fake, that sort of thing. But for the game world, I'm going to say it's pleasant. Are you troubled by the fact that you are no longer strictly human? It's a good question. It's a good question. Like, as long as I still had my senses, even if my mind was in something else, as long as I was able to manipulate, feel, touch, smell, have all of those senses, I feel like I'd be fine. But that's the thing. Like, a lot of it has to do with how I'm feeling. And obviously, since this is a game, I don't have those senses, but you're not supposed to have those senses in, like, at least these games as of yet. We're getting to a point, though. So VR's got that immersion effect. That's why people get sick or something like that when they're in there too long, because they get motion sickness and all that sort of stuff. So we're getting there. we're getting there. But we got to get the touch, taste, and smell for sure. And then we'll have something a little more in depth. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if there's going to be a simple way to get through those processes, but yeah, it's fine. So let's say I do have all those sensations. That's sort of what was promised by the game, at least for the ARK. So I'm just going to say, no, I feel fine. I feel normal. I feel like a human being. Sure. How do you perceive your new existence? I don't think it would be a continuation of my previous self. Complete do-over, no, because I still have those past experiences in my mind. Completely different, has nothing to do with my previous self. I'll say it's a new chapter. It's a new chapter. It's a new existence, because there's nothing saying I'm going to live in the ARK for the rest of time, and that's only if there isn't some other intelligence out there that can find a way to deal with us, but there's no guarantee that we ever get found. Like, this could be the last stake of humanity in the game world. So let's just say it's a new chapter. We'll figure out what we do from here. Should be fun. Do you think this new existence will be life worth living? I don't think it'll have less meaning. Because let's be honest, like, there are some lives in this world that, well, they either don't last that long, or they end up being sick, or they end up in a bad situation, or they die early, or something along those lines. So it's not going to be like it has less meaning, but, you know. Let's see. Maybe we can find a new sense of meaning in this world. Too detached from reality and everything I know. So this, if it were real life, I would be like, yes, this one right here, it's too detached. But for the game, I'll just be like, it's a maybe we can find a new sense. Would you rather be removed from the project and accept death? Oof. I mean, I know there were a few people who were wanting to do that, but I'm going to say no. Your answers have been saved. Thank you for participating. The ARK team. Yeah, there's nothing else. Okay. So the weird part is, why would Catherine not have already had a scan ready to go inside the ARK? That's the part I don't get. I feel like she would. Because it just seems like very, very risky to not have a scan ready to go.
Catherine? Catherine! I can't believe we actually made it.
Well, we did.
I'm so relieved.
It's okay, Simon. Everything's all right now.
So that was Earth post-apocalypse, or the comet. So long, Earth. Okay. So our title screen changed. We're now back to normal Catherine. What is load game? That's my question. So I can just go back to the sites as they were. Okay. That's fine. So, again, I had a lot of fun with this game. And the point of it isn't necessarily to be depressing or sad or anything like that, but to keep your mind open to these ideas about human survival and what that means. And in my mind, and again, I don't discuss this a lot, but in my mind, the only way to advance as humanity will probably be to bioengineer, at least to some degree. So, again, there's a lot of philosophical differences, religious differences, and all that sort of stuff behind that. Like, people are like, no, the human is, the natural human body, blah, 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 all natural chemicals, all natural, blah, 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 and honestly, that hasn't been true for like a couple hundred years, whether they want to believe it or not. It's like the whole GMO thing and everything else that just drives me up the wall. Because even like natural crops. I'm going a little bit off tangent here, but that's fine. So let's talk about how crops are grown and how like what's the term I'm looking for? What is the term I'm looking for? It's that buzzword that everybody loves to use. Organic. There we go. Organic. So, organic crops are basically, they used either natural pesticides or no pesticides at all, which means like they use lemon juice or whatever else to keep bugs away, and they grew fruit or vegetables or whatever, right? So, even that process of growing those crops, and again, this is going down to the seed level. Depending on where you got those seeds, I guarantee you, they were modified to bear edible fruit, edible vegetables, edible whatever, because natural and wild crops were not always edible. They needed to be grown in a way to be made edible. So whether that's natural or not in your mind, I'm going to argue that in most cases, if you can eat it, it probably wasn't. So, again, it's fine. Everybody can do whatever they want. You can have all the guava juice and whatever bullshit detoxing nonsense you want. But at the end of the day, scientific advancement is going to be what pushes us as a humanity forward versus anything else. And I think the last 100, 200, 300 years are evidence of that alone, just because of the exponential growth in technology we've had. Like, let's go back even 100 years. So we're talking the 1920s. And you have to put that in your mind, the 1920s. So that was the flapper time period, all that sort of stuff. And TVs were not common. Films were just being created. Like, air travel was fairly new. In fact, it was so new that it really didn't take off until post 1940s, to be honest, because we had military planes at that point and all that sort of stuff. But that's sort of the ideas that I'm talking about here. It's like, how far have we come in the last 100 years alone? How far has humanity come? And it's been exponential growth. And it's always been exponential growth. But you have to think about it. It's like, that is wild to me that in 100 years we have planes, we have television, we have internet, we have computers, we have, decent medicine. People are living longer. Medications actually work. We have nutritionists and scientists and everybody in every possible field you could think of. And we know more now than we could have ever possibly known back then, thanks to advancements in tools and technology and scientific study and all that sort of stuff. And it was due to nothing else. Like, you are not going to see that sort of advancement from any other, sort of ideology, right? Now, again, I'm not going to say that science is perfect, because by all means, no, that's not how that works. The way science works is by making trial and error mistakes. You make mistakes, you learn from the mistakes, you write it down on paper, and you're like, all right, here's what went wrong. How do we make this better? And then you try again, and again, and again, and again, and again. You fail over and over and over and over again. And then you advance. You find the one thing that works, and you push it forward. And then somebody takes that torch, and they're like, you know what? We can make this a little bit better. And then they improve on it, and they fail, and they fail, and they fail, and they push it forward. And that's how humanity's been, sort of surviving, at least in first world nations. And again, there's something to be said about third world nations and, nations that just haven't advanced at all, for sure. Or at least groups that haven't advanced at all as far as science or technology. And you know what? They're fine. They're making it, at least in most cases. We're going to ignore the tribal areas that happen to kill any visitors that come by. But for them, it's just like, that's their way of life. That's how they do things. It's fine. But humanity as a whole, like 99.9% of it, going to be fine, either through medication or technology or something along those lines. So it's just a culmination of so many different thought projects and scientific studies and papers and advancements that I adore, And at some point, because, again, a lot of people don't like to think about it. They just want to live their life, and they want to be, completely numb to it, and they don't have any understanding of how astrophysics works or anything like that. And that's fine, but I'll bring it up here. So if you're not wanting to hear about it, go ahead and stop the video now, or stop watching now. But basically, there is going to be a point in time, because of how space works and because of how energy works and is consumed, that the universe is going to experience heat death. And so what is heat death? So heat, by its nature, is always moving into cooler areas to try and warm it up, right? So think of it as you have a fire, and it's fueled by wood, and you're trying to, just keep yourself warm, keep the air warm around you and all that sort of stuff. But in order to do that, it consumes the fuel, which is wood. And in our case of the sun, it's a bunch of explosive gases and nuclear energy and emissions that keep it going. But at some point, those natural fuels are going to burn up. They are going to be used. And again, for our sun's case, it may be a couple thousand years or a couple million years. Again, there are already studies on that. I don't have the exact number, and it's fine. I don't know, but let's just assume it's going to be a million years from now. So a million years from now, the sun is going to burn up, you know? So at that point, Earth is going to run out of heat. It's not going to be, powered by wind. And if the sun, for whatever reason, turns into a red giant, we're going to be absorbed or burned well before the sun decides to, poof. But who knows? So it's assumed that it'll become a red giant, but hopefully we're gone before then. So to give you an idea, the sun will expand to an exponential size from what it originally was and burn everything in a radius to crisp. And we're in that target zone. So the sun burns out. Every star out there in the universe does the same exact thing. Maybe a little bit differently. Maybe a different heat. Maybe a different temperature. But it does the same thing. It's burning fuel. It's burning energy. And at some point, space is going to be a void of black. And that's heat death. Heat death is when all energy is consumed, or at least used up to fuel the stars around it. So there was a big discussion on this on Kurzgesagt about using black holes to energize, cities, or using a battery or something along those lines. But in order to build something of that scale, we're talking about many, 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 many planets worth of materials. We're not talking like hundreds. We're talking thousands or even millions planets worth of material. And Earth, on its own, is, in a sense, its own spaceship, because it has a finite set of resources. Now, there's a lot that may be untapped at this point. And again, I'm not talking about like oil or fossil fuels or anything like that. I'm talking like just natural things like carbon, water, H2O, oxygen, nitrogen, those resources. And let's say we wanted to build a rocket ship in the future that at least takes, if not part of humanity, all of humanity. It would have to be an exponentially large ship and probably use every resource the Earth could possibly have. And to energize a ship or anything of that size, it would basically have to be almost planet-sized, which is why, especially in like Star Wars, we look at the Death Star and we think, oh my god, that's fucking massive. Why does it need to be that big? But you think about it, that's got a planet's worth of people on it. And it needs those resources to be self-maintained. Because if it's destroying planets, then obviously whoever's on the damn thing needs to survive and have resources to do it. So, again, I know I'm talking a lot at the end of SOMA here, but these are ideas that come to me. And they pull into me. So it's fine. But no, I would love to be a part of, any project in the future. If at some point I were asked, like, do you want to go into space? Honestly, I'd have to think about it for like a minute, depending on where I was in my life. Because I'd be like, all right, well, can I bring my family? Can I bring, whatever it may be. I'm not too particularly concerned about like objects. Like, I'd be like, all right, I can leave everything else behind, but can I bring, people I know, people I love, people I care for, can they come along? Do they have the option? Would it just be me? What's the whole plan for this trip? That sort of thing. I'd get all that out of the way. But if they asked me if I wanted to have my brain scanned, like in this game, and launched into space, I'd probably be like, you know what? Yeah, go for it. And just like with the game, I don't know which version of me would actually end up there, because I'd be like, I'd be the me on Earth. I'd be the Reaper on Earth, or I'd be the me in the ship. But which one would this mind go to, right? Because I'd have two consciousnesses being in existence. One would be in like an ARK, and one would, like in the game, or one would be on Earth. And it would be interesting for me to be like, all right, which one do I end up in? And I'd be a little concerned. I'd be slightly concerned. Only if, like, say I couldn't get a scan of people I knew, right? Say it was just me, right? If they only scanned me and they wanted to send me into space, I'd be like, shit, that'd be scary. I'm the only one up there. Doesn't matter how much you put in there, unless it's really good AI, maybe screwed. But we'd see, right? We'd see. Anyway, this has been Soma. I've been talking a lot, especially post-game. But, yeah, if you're interested in this game, feel free to play it. Like, there's not a lot else you can do with this game. You can play it again and again and again, but I don't think there's anything that changes. I don't know if there's any secret items or treasures or anything like that. I don't think so. I don't think that's what the purpose of this game was. So replayability is probably going to be like to naught, unfortunately. But it's just an interesting game to go with, right? It's just an interesting thing to think about. And I really hope in the future that humanity decides to do the right thing. So, again, this has been Reaper 102388. This has been Soma. If you have any questions, I'm going to upload this to YouTube, so feel free to leave me a comment there. You can DM me on Twitch. You can DM me on Discord if you happen to be following me there. My Twitter's also open, anything like that. So I'd love to talk more about it. Love to chat with you all about it. And yeah, I think I'm going to call this game and this stream there. But what I'm going to do following this is I'm going to go ahead and boot up the Xbox and we'll stream something else. Because I've only been going for an hour. I finished the game. So I'll end this stream. This will be its own little video, and then I'll do something for fun. So if you have suggestions for games that you want to see, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pick something at random. So I will leave the chat open. It'll still be active. I promise I'll be there, but I'm going to end this stream on this game and then come back for a new stream. So thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.